In this video, I'm going to explain to you how iridology can detect chronic disease. Now, iridology is actually the science of reading the iris. The iris is the colored part of the eye. Now, you've got three components that are readily seen. You've got the sclera, which is the whites of the eyes. You've got a pupil, which is the center of the iris. And the iris, which is the colored part. Now, it can come into dark, brown, green, hazel, and blue. Sometimes there could be a mixture of both. But essentially, the colors can tell you about the actual state of the body and the signs in the iris. Now, in about 1976, I was introduced to iridology, and then a few years later, I was introduced to this chart, which I'm going to show you now. And it's one of the most valuable, absolutely valuable charts I've ever seen. I've helped hundreds and hundreds of people with it. I'm going to explain it to you. You see, when you're born here, this is pertaining to a blue eye. When you're born here, it's blue. Now, this is where you've got what I call acute disease. So the eye is not so dark, okay? Now, if you don't get treated properly at that point, you then move on to what I call subacute, and you notice the blue has become more darker. If at that point in time you don't get treated properly, you then move to chronic disease, which is here. Now, remarkably, 80% of all disease in the USA is at that level, chronic disease, which is quite frightening. When you're talking 300 million people, and a lot of these people are sick in America, that's where they are, in a chronic disease. Now, using this chart, using very advanced photographic equipment, we can determine which organs of yours are at the chronic stage or other stages. That can help us then to guide you properly into reversing your disease from chronic back to subacute, back to acute, and back to a really healthy state. Phenomenally good advice, okay? Now, I would advise you to subscribe to this video by using the YouTube channel below. Also, whilst you're there, request this very powerful booklet called Benefits of Having an Iridology Consultation. And after you've read it, contact us and let's have a talk about how we can help you determine the state of your health.